chapter 16, verse 25. Verse 25 says, "Now to him who is able to establish you according to my gospel." It is to say, Paul could not establish. It says, "To him who is able to establish according to my gospel and the preaching of Jesus Christ." It is to say, there is a gospel that Paul wrote, and there is a preaching of Jesus Christ, according to the revelation of the mystery which was kept secret since the world begun. The next verse. "But now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the eternal God, made known to all nations," for what? For the obedience of faith. Well, the Apostle Paul says here that for a church to be called a church, it has to be established with his gospel, not that of the apostles, because that of the apostles was the gospel of circumcision. But for a church to dare call itself a church has to have one gospel, and that is from Romans to Hebrews. We have repeated that many times, but you should be reminded of that. Not all of the Bible is the gospel, because the Bible has scriptures, has history, and then after Romans to Revelation, there are two gospels. 14 are the gospel of uncircumcision, and 8 the gospel of circumcision. That it contains, for an example, James, 1st, 2nd of Peter, 1st, 2nd, 3rd of John, Jude, and the book of Revelation. Those are 8 books that are composed of 3 writers, 3 heads, 3 different trumpets, the gospel of circumcision. Now, the 14 epistles, the gospel of uncircumcision, is one man, one trumpet, one voice, one apostle, which is the Apostle Paul. Now, Paul confirmed many churches in his time: Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians. All those were established with his gospel. But what happened? That he could not continue because the pressure he had was strong from the part of the apostles. He had pressure. He had to rebuke Peter. Well, he had many difficulties with them because they didn't understand the gospel of grace. And Christ, in the days of his flesh, he never taught, because he never did. He taught parables and examples, but he never taught the gospel of uncircumcision. So what happens? That which Paul established, which was the true gospel, then Paul says that Christ was to come for a second time, but he will not come without the apostasy coming first. The apostasy of what? The apostasy of what he taught during his time. It is to say that now Paul is prophesying, after I die, what I've taught, it's going to cease because apostasy is going to be manifest. They're going to apostatize of that which I taught. Paul thought that was going to take place quick. He says, I know that soon the other will be manifest. And as that time draws near, it will be established. He fought for that because he saw that his work was reduced to nothing.